You know what's funny? Like, when I started my Saturn Return, like, I feel like I started it a year early. Or at least I started feeling the energy a year early. So I had already started making or taking steps to, like, get back on course. And, like, reroute my life because obviously, like, the narrative for my old paradigm, it just wasn't working anymore. Especially in my career field, like, I just was so unhappy, so out of alignment, like, and I could tell, like, that's kind of, I don't know, it was weird because in that way, like, showing up to a job that, like, I felt out of alignment with every day, like, and I felt so miserable doing that, especially when I wasn't making, like, I wasn't making money that made it feel worth it. Um, and then, so I got to a point where, for me, I got to a point where I was like, okay, like, I'm just gonna start, like, really, like, pouring into my passion. And it wasn't like, I didn't go in all or nothing at first. I honestly didn't even expect things to play out the way that they have so far. And I'm grateful for the fact that we'll get to that. But, you know, the first thing was, like, I had started doing, like, free readings for people to collect, like, testimonials and feedback. That was, like, the first thing. And this was, like, I was in the thick of, like, misery. This was, like, not this past summer, but the one before that. So what was it? The summer of 2024? Or was it? I think it was the summer of 2023. So maybe, yeah, it's been a minute. That was, like, the worst summer of my life. I'm pretty sure. Holy shit. Like, I was just miserable at work. So finally, I got to a place where it was after the eclipse, the April eclipse of 2024, I believe, where I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna start doing markets. And, like, I started a mini metaphysical shop, and I was like, I'm just gonna go, like, do like, budget friendly readings, do that, till I figure out, like, what I want to do. I started posting on my YouTube a little bit, like, pick a cards, just, like, planting seeds, starting somewhere. And it took me, like, and then, oh yeah, Reiki. I got my Reiki, my Reiki certification for level 1 and 2. So I can practice Reiki now, and I have a minister's license, so I can legally, like, practice without a massage therapy license. The crazy thing about Reiki, too, is that, like, you really don't have to put your hands on people to do it. Anyway, so yeah, and then, like, I feel like as time went on, it was just, like, I would go to, like, my normal job, whatever, and, like, I got to a point where it was, like, I was crying on my way to work, bro. Like, I mean, I had been doing that for, like, 2 jobs at this point, so I knew, like, I had to go. Nothing in my life was, like, felt, like, ready or set up yet to the point where I wanted it to, because I had every intention of, like, seeing things through to, like, things in my business really popped off. But to be honest, like, now where I'm at, I don't think I would have been able to handle the amount of, like, responsibility that I have with both of my businesses right now that I have if I had had a normal job, because I really needed the flexibility and the freedom. And once I surrendered and let go enough to, like, allow that, and all of a sudden, like, the universe started moving. And, like, now it's, like, easy to get up every day and be like, okay, like, what's something else I can do like this week or today to like make my business better, or like market a little bit more, or whatever. And I realized, oh no, please don't shut off the lights. About to shut off because they're on a timer. Told you. And I realized, like, sorry guys, the lighting's gonna be poop. I realized, like, now looking back, I'm like, even though they were little steps that I took in the moment, like, I completely underestimated those things that I did, like, 2 years ago. I completely underestimated them. Because by the time, like, I had to take the actual leap, I just saw 555. Spirit was like, all right, we're gonna catch you. We got presents for you. We got things that are gonna come to fruition. Like, as long as you're still, like, meeting us halfway. And, like, sometimes you don't see, like, you don't see the options you have till you're in the situation. Like, once I let go of that job, I took on, like, a freelance thing where I could just, like, supplement my income if I needed to, part-time. And, like, I wouldn't get penalized for calling off work if I didn't need the money, because I used to serve for a long time, like 10 years. I was a server at different restaurants, and towards the end, like, I would, like, get people to cover my shift if I didn't need to work, because, guys, I was at my wit's end. I was exhausted mentally, physically. My cortisol was so high I could see it in my face, like, and my heart wasn't in it anymore. Like, at one point, I used to show up every day, especially at the best serving job I had ever had. I used to show up every day, bust my ass, work really hard, like, pick up extra shifts, like, because the money was great. And I loved all the people I worked with. And then, things happened, like, the place closed, and I ended up having to move on to other places, and it just, nothing was hitting. And that's when I knew so this is my whole point. Like, I felt like in that moment, like, I didn't even realize that I was about to step into my journey of, like, cultivating, like, my purpose or my higher purpose and my path. And, like, I didn't realize that, like, like I said, I was stepping into that until I looked back at a certain point. And even then, it's like, I had no idea that things were gonna work out. You know what I mean? Like, even till recently, like, the the entrepreneur life is just different. Like, it's just different. It's like, and I see posts now in my algorithm about the entrepreneur life being like, Monday, $50,000 deposit, Tuesday, $3 in your account, Wednesday, somehow scrape together the $5K to pay my rent. Like, it's just stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, that's so real. Like, there's there's an element of, like, spirituality to everything. Everything is spiritual, whether we look at it through that lens or not. But, like, especially, like, I feel like one of the reasons I became an entrepreneur was because I reached a certain level of faith and surrender spiritually. Like, I don't think that, like, even, like, I think about this a lot, or I was thinking about it a lot recently. Like, I'm so glad that things happened the way that they did, because even when I had little intuitive nudges back in, like, 2020 of, like, what I was gonna end up doing, and I hadn't gotten around to them until, like, maybe 2.5, 3 years later, like the reiki and stuff. I am so glad that I didn't, because I wasn't ready, and I didn't have the capacity emotionally to hold all of these responsibilities, to hold all of this energy. Like, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like, even I think I'm going through a Kundalini awakening. Basically I am. And the amount of, and this is honestly recent, like maybe the last 6 months or so. The last time I did Reiki, I think I did Reiki on my friend Taylor. Shout out, Taylor nailed it. She's the one who does my amazing nails, and I'm so grateful to her. She's so talented, and I just love her energy. I love being in her salon. I love getting to see her regularly and us collabing when we do events, or she does events and stuff. So anyway, I did Reiki on her. Well, I did Reiki on myself since then, but even not, I'll talk about that in a second, but I was actually so shocked at like how much energy I'm channeling right now. Like, when I first started Reiki, there were a lot of things, a lot of shifts that still needed to happen. I just saw 1111 with myself. This is why I'm so adamant about Reiki. This is why I'm like so like, guys, like Reiki will change your life, and book with me. I'm telling you, it will change your life. We'll document it. You'll see. But I literally, one of the first chakras, when I first did my Reiki level 1, which is learning self Reiki, one of the chakras that like needed healing the most was my root, which deals with like tangible things, money, safety, security, stability, and just being like, it could be being comfortable in our body, it could be like our relationship to food, it could be our relationship with money. Like, it affects so many things, even like my spiritual gifts. And I'm starting to like realize this now. My spiritual gifts like are grounding so much because I've been able to really move through a lot of root chakra problems and wounds that I carried for so long. The amount of energy that I was channeling from like just recently when I did her Reiki session, and I thought it was just through her at first, and then I had to do it. I did it on myself recently before a session. I always do Reiki on myself before like a big reading or a group reading, and the amount of energy that I felt even just doing it for myself was like, I didn't even touch myself yet. And I could feel my, like, basically everything open up. I could feel like I literally felt like something got pulled out of my shoulder. Like, it was just insane. Like, this is what I'm saying. It's a whole journey. It's a whole journey. Like, even now, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. Like, and I've been practicing Reiki for like 2 years now, professionally and like just in general. And I was never, like, I would channel, yes, I could feel people, yes, I could feel my own stuff, yes, like, but the amount of energy that I've been able to channel is like insane. Like, I literally I'll even have my eyes closed. I'll literally be channeling energy through somebody and feel like, feel like I'm about, like, I mean, obviously I'm not, but I'll feel like I'm about to, like, fly away in, like, some kind of crazy storm. It's, like, insane. It's insane. And I really want you guys to open up, book a Reiki session with me. It changes your life. Even one session can help, but I always recommend doing more than one, like doing them consistently if you can, because I've seen insane changes. Like, even if you can just do it once a month, like, you'll see such a difference, like, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, I mean, 5 years. My entire life 5 years ago was so different. Like, okay, it's 2025. Back in 2020, I was still a certified party girl. I was still working in a restaurant that I honestly really couldn't stand. What month is this? October? Okay, so I had left a restaurant job that I couldn't stand, and I was working at this kava bar, and yeah, I think this was the month that I left that other restaurant job. So I was working at this kava bar and like living at home with my aunt after like a bad roommate situation. I was like taking a break and like saving some money so I could move out again. And like honestly, like just taking a break from hospitality, because I literally said to myself, like, in 2020, I was like, I never want to work in a restaurant ever again. Like, I don't want to. And so I knew back then, but I didn't know how things would unfold. I wasn't doing readings yet. I was about to start doing readings, but I didn't know it. Third Eye Exchange, my little boutique had like, I had just started like planting seeds. That was when I did the journal kits. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't critically think about business. Like, I literally ordered like a bunch of stuff to make journal kits and didn't account for profit margins. I mean, people loved them and I'm thankful. But, you know, one of the reasons why I did away with the journal kits essentially, and maybe honestly I'll bring them back, but in a different form in the future. We'll see. One of the reasons I got rid of them was because, one, like, the profit margins on them, like, I was so naive and inexperienced at that point that, like, they cost a lot to make. And I didn't want to have to charge so much for them because of that. And then also, like, I was doing a little, like, group called Creative Healing with another girl that I knew back then. And, you know, we did guided meditations. She did readings in the back. I did, like, journaling, and I would kind of come up with, like, a little course outline of, like, the prompts that we would go over, and people would journal. Some people could share if they wanted, whatever. And that was, you know what, I'm grateful for that time in my life. I met some really cool people. I got to connect with some really cool people. Some of those people I still know and have mad love for. And I think I got to put myself out there in a way that I had never really done before. And honestly, that's why when people tell me, like, you know, you should do events, like bigger events, I'm like, you know what? Like, it was fun, but I just feel like maybe in a way, I took it for granted, and I'm like, been there, done that, you know, like, that's the Aries issue, like, we're always raising the bar, so for me, it's just not so appealing. Maybe there'll be another thing that comes my way, or an idea that strikes, and I'm like, yeah, but, like, group stuff, I don't know, like, workshops, it's not on my radar right now. But yeah, so anyway, like, I just think it's so crazy how far I've come in, like, such a small amount of time. And, like, it's just proof that, like, if you do what you should be doing, if you allow yourself to surrender and fall into alignment, the universe will help you. Like, listen, I'm never gonna say that it was a breeze and that everything always fell into place easily and that I didn't have to think outside the box. There were times in my life I was angry at the universe. I was angry at God. I was angry at my spirit guides. I was angry at my ancestors. I was angry at my angels. I was angry at my spirit team, and I was angry at myself. And there were times. I just saw 1919. That's like the beginning and the end of something. But I just got to a point where it's like, you keep pushing, you do what feels right until it doesn't anymore, and then you figure out something else. Do what feels good, follow what feels good, not things that are like dopamine hits, not like drugs, like do things that feel good to you. Like, I love doing readings. I love having clients and helping clients and helping them on their journey, like walk through, because listen, when you do the work that I do, I'm not healing you. I'm not healing. I mean, like Reiki, I'm helping, but I'm not healing you, because even with Reiki, the things that come up, you got to do the work. Like the energy aspect of it and the release is only part of it. You got to do the work. You got to be willing. I just saw two. You got to be willing to sit with those uncomfortable feelings. You got to be willing to face them, to face yourself, to face your shame, to face your grief, to face the shame and the grief and the things that have been unexpressed, even from your ancestors, that they genetically passed through you. Shit that you feel like you've been carrying that's not even your own. Shit that's not comfortable. Like there's even our shadow side, and our shadow aspects aren't always bad. Like sometimes they're like hidden talents and stuff, or things we don't really say out loud, and not because we're ashamed, but just because it's like a private part of ourselves. But it's like sometimes it really is work. Like shadow work, they don't call it shadow work for nothing. Like it is work. Like honestly, there's even times that like it hasn't been happening so much anymore, because I think I've worked through it majority. But there were times that like I was carrying shame for things that I internalized, that I took on, that I didn't even have anything to do with. Things I didn't even do. Like, honestly. And I just really, like I said, even in that way, like I look at myself now and I'm like, wow. Like you're just letting yourself feel things even if it doesn't make sense. Because I have a Libra moon, an air moon. I like to intellectualize feelings a lot, or just analyze everything. My mind is very analytical sometimes, and like it feels nice to just like let myself feel something and not judge myself for it, or not be like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way, or like whatever. Like, I mean, there are certain things that I'm like, when they come up, I'm like, bruh. But it's just literally, it's a mirror showing you what still needs healing, what still needs some work, what, you know what I mean? That's all. I just saw 22. So yeah, like sometimes when you fall into alignment, it just looks like little things. Like it just goes to show you, you just have to start. That's all I'm trying to say. But on some real shit, book a reading and a Reiki session with me. I'm gonna get you right. And I'm gonna help you get you right. I love you. Bye.